Welcome into the DGD podcast on an off night. Some issues happened last night, so we had to switch it up and do an audible come tonight, Tuesday. So sorry for any inconveniences there. Kobe, Deep South Souls rivalry. A lot of words to be discussed, I should say. Nail biter for what it's worth. Kind of a unexpected turn, I guess you can say, considering how we handled last Wednesday's show. But overall, let's go ahead and jump in this. Obviously, we're going to give our game balls. We're going to give report cards. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, guys. This is what we got to do. And with that being said, when we talk ugly, you know that means your team is trash segment is coming up as well. So loaded show. Kobe, let's get started, man. First things first, Saturday, 3:30. Yeah, Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. Just felt right. But for Georgia, things could have been a lot better. I'm not saying that it wasn't horrible, but definitely could have been a lot better. First things first, what are your thoughts on Saturday's game?
I think the head ball coach couldn't have put it more perfectly in his interview on Monday. You know, you're sitting there driving home, almost in a state of depression. You know, and as a lot of fans, I feel like, you know, we definitely feel that way, if not even more, sometimes than the coaching staff. Because let's be honest, you know, shout out to all you crazy fans out there. Half of you don't even know what you're looking at. So you're literally mad about something you have no grasp upon. But he's sitting there talking about we can't stop the run, we can't set the edge, all these things. And then, like he said, he gets home, kind of flushes those negative thoughts, turns on the tape, watches just like the fact from the eye in the sky, no emotion to it, and really is impressed that we did some good things. That the score didn't necessarily, you know, represent. I mean, anytime you turn the ball over twice and they score 14 points off those two turnovers, you're going to be in for a long game, especially when we know that teams are limiting possessions for us. You know, a turnover could be only 1 to 2 possessions a whole half at that point. So it's one of those things that I think at halftime at 7:30, I was very much more thinking kind of like everybody else, like, holy cow, this team isn't as good as teams in the past. This team is, you know, a lot of other things. Sorry. But then I think after letting it marinate for a little bit, going back, watching some of the good things we did, and then just really realizing this team's still very young and has a chance to continue to grow. I think somebody said it really well last year. Minus the Oregon win, which was a huge win, you really were having a pretty slow start until week 5 at Missouri. A game you turned the ball over some, a game that was closer that you were losing, and you come back from that game and win, and it kind of gets those gears turning. It kind of brings that juice, and the team kind of starts clicking a lot better. I think you go on to win your next like 3 games by 20 points or more. So not saying we're gonna beat Kentucky by 20 this week, because I think they're a very physical team that's going to run the ball and try to control the clock. But don't be surprised if we show up with our hair more on fire than we have in weeks past.
Yeah, you talk about Kirby as well. He had mentioned that Bloody Tuesday is going to be bloody, and I could imagine that would be the case. You've this is a nut check game. It's been that way. Kentucky's a physical ass football team. They really are. And Auburn, right, defensively, their defensive front seven wasn't terrible at all. Um, and then defensively, we had some issues, but at the same time, I'm going to bring a positive light to this. And Rude's comment here, so tired of Beckett, resonates so well right now, because we just watched Carson Beck grow up in a huge game, right? I don't think people understand the magnitude of what we just witnessed Saturday. And that's true hostile environment in a big ass rivalry game. You're down, you're facing the adversity, and then you manufacture 98-yard drive to tie the game, and then another long drive. And even before that, right? If we took away the interception and that missed shot to Delp, nobody's like, the optics of his performance are not overshadowed at all by any negativity. Like, it was just one of those games where he made people look at his willingness to check down, but there were plays that, like, one specific for me was the third down to Rara in the red zone. That was that's an NFL type play. You got to make that throw, and he took a shot and he made that throw. But even before then, I do like um, the I guess you could say the ability to see Marcus Roseman down the scene, or down the sideline, right on that go route when Bowers got bracketed, right. Safety comes down, Marcus Roseman right past him. He hits him right over the top there. Boom. You look at Lovett, right? There was a play design where, was it Bell? I think Bell goes up to the top of the screen, right, to the field, or boundary, excuse me, to the boundary, and then Lovett's right there with a slant route. He just hits slant and goes. You know what I mean? It's those decisions right there that, to me, I felt like you saw him grow up and be the guy, be the quarterback that you need. I think that was a big thing for me. Um, Rudes does ask, though, since we're going to talk about this, he says, just explain what's going on with the defensive front seven.
I'll tell you my opinion, and take it to the bank if you want to, sell it on the street for pocket change if you need to. I don't think it is truly the front seven that is ineffective this year. I think that our defensive ends are having a little bit of trouble setting a firm edge in which linebackers can make easy reads on if the ball is going to be bounced inside or bounced outside or forced back inside. I think there's a lot of gray, murky things that these inside linebackers are having to look at and identify. And then I think sometimes they're kind of getting sold short if a guy all of a sudden slants inside or kind of doesn't do his assignment. And then you kind of leave somebody hanging, not really because of what they did, but because of what you did or what you chose to do. The other thing about, Auburn is they were death by a thousand cuts at some point. I mean, there was a ton of eye candy, a ton of motion, a ton of, heavy, like, offset heavy formation right, run counter back left where you have numbers on the short side of the field. I mean, you take out, like I was looking right here again, take out Peyton Thorne's 12 carries for 92 yards, which 61 of those came in one carry. Then you have, Hunter, who had basically 20 carries for 60 yards, which is like 3 yards a carry. And then Beatty was worse than that. He was 8 carries for 35 yards, which is basically what? Not quite, a little over 4.5.
Sounds about right.
Around there. And then Robbie Ashford's right around the same thing about, he's about 8 yards a carry. You really take out the two quarterbacks and their abilities to have these long runs on us. And, I think our run defense is about the same. I mean, that's just me talking. I mean, definitely don't take anything away from Hugh Freeze. They did a great job, being able to run the ball and be able to trick kind of what our defense is looking at. But I'm not quite on the red flag of like we can't play run defense. Like a couple people are coming into the Kentucky weekend that are like, oh, Kentucky's going to run the ball all over us. It's like, let's maybe put the brakes on that just a little bit.
I mean, at least for now. I mean, listen, Hugh Freeze had an excellent game plan. He stuck with it, and I mean, to the tune of over 200 yards rushing, right? However, it's not the same, right? Florida,
but to the same tune of a loss. He stuck with a game plan that lost them the game.
I think to that degree, yes. I think at the same time, though, one could argue that Georgia won that game, took that game away. You know what I mean? Just it was a lot closer than we expected, and for what it's worth, right? You look at the costly interception, and this is another thing, guys. I don't really like the hypothetical game here, but if you go back through the recent games, we've had turnovers, multiple turnovers. I think this might be the third game where we've had multiple turnovers in a row. Because I think South Carolina, we had turnovers, or I know we had multiple turnovers at least 3 games. I forgot which ones, but the past 2 in a row, I know. You look at these turnovers, guys, and the problem is you're given regardless of the team, super short field, and they capitalize and put points on. So if we're playing the hypothetical game, if we don't turn the ball over, right, what would that look like, right? You're looking at points given up by our defense is like 6. Like, to me, I'm just sitting there looking at it in a sense where it's like, guys, we got to fucking limit turnovers. You know what I mean? Like, we just have to stop turning the ball over, right? Play within the system, things like that. It's ball security at all times. You should be aware. You should always anticipate somebody behind you. That's why you hold it up tight. You never, I understand you're trying to make a move because ultimately what happened was with Delp's fumble, right? You look at him trying to make a move up the field, it opens up a little gap, and the dude just pops it out from behind. I get that. But my thing is protect the ball, right? You should know this is coming. If you get the turnovers fixed, I guarantee it's a whole different ball game. But another thing, Kobe, we're starting to see 5 games in the season, slow start after slow start after slow start after slow start. Guys, it's as simple as this. If you want to start off fast, get the fuck off the field on defense. Get the fuck off the field on defense. I know it's easier said than done. I get that. But if that happens, I guarantee you the offense will get clicking. And the reason why I think that moving forward could be the situation is because we saw the growth and development with our own eyes as the game progressed Saturday with Carson Beck. It doesn't have to be 60-yard bombs to attack vertically. You just don't have to do that. I don't think that's sustainable, right? 15, 20-yard chunk plays, catch a running in space, and give it to your playmakers, right? We look at Brock Bowers. We'll talk about this, I'm sure. But Brock Bowers single-handedly took that game over in the second half. And we needed Brock Bowers. It's one of these things where I saw Jeff talking about Dominic Lovett, and I'll tie this into it. He said, we need to talk about Lovett. Talking about all he heard all summer was Lovett going to kick ass, hard to stay in front of. It's just we don't have the receivers that we thought we would in the sense of, getting open, creating separation, things like that. Which leads me to this. Ladd McConkey's return is going to benefit every single skill position player. And I think we saw that a little bit, even in a limited capacity on a limited snap count. His ability to create the separation needed to extend the drives, right, and key points of the game was crucial for us. And as he gets healthier, he gets into game shape. You expect him to play more, right? Keep in mind, we're still doing 12 personnel, guys. That means you're only going to have 2 receivers. You see what I mean? Like if we move to a 11 personnel, that opens up 3 receivers. So you're looking at guys like Arian Smith and other guys, and now they especially Ladd's back. They're going to be sitting there, kind of rotate in, but like it more than likely will be Ladd, Lovett, and probably Rah / Marcus Roseman-Jackson. You're going to have your 1 and 2 deep. That's about it, unless you go 11 personnel. Then you start putting more guys on the field. But if we run 12 personnel, and we've ran that a lot, your receivers have to count. You have to make them count. So if that means you know hell, if that means any combination, Lovett and Ladd, or right, I mean Rah and Marcus Roseman, if you want big bodies on the outside, who knows, right? I mean, you got personnel groupings for that matter. You just got to have those guys step up and make plays. You know what I mean? I mean, we saw Marcus Roseman with some good catches. We saw Lovett make some good catches. Now, at the same time, we didn't convert those to touchdowns. But, Brock, listen, we were used to this last season where any receiver on any given Saturday, Kobe, could single-handedly take over the game. You didn't need Brock Bowers to single-handedly take over the game because you had Kenny McIntosh that just put the team on his back that day. Or you had, Ladd McConkey put the team on his back that day. We were fortunate to have that situation. And so far, I just don't know if we have that situation. And it's not a comparison because this team is completely different. So I think as Ladd gets back into game shape, things are going to change. And I think this offense could get that spark that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, my only argument there would be obviously had to sit out a game and kind of had a slow second game, but Marcus Roseman-Jackson, I mean, he's put this team on his back a time or two already as a very good, sure-handed second option to Brock Bowers. And as Ladd comes back, obviously Ladd's going to be getting into that too. But I think so far, as a fan, and as I'm sure as a lot of other fans will attest, I mean, Marcus Roseman has been a dude, and he's shined harder
Without a doubt.
Both even to this point. I mean, we had a guy in house basically that plays the style of football Kirby's looking for, and then when you throw him the ball, he's gonna come away with it, and that matters because you're not. I mean, I feel like what you're learning if you are these receivers, and I hate to be this way because I know it costs us receivers in the recruiting game, but if you're Dom Lovett, you're not getting the ball thrown at you 10 times.
You're just not. I mean,
no, that's a fact.
Oh, hey, Keon, how are you, man?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
So
go Dogs.
If you get the ball thrown to you 5 times and you only catch 3 of them,
yeah,
make your targets count, man. That's, I think, because ultimately, like I said earlier, man, like you're gonna have one of those Saturdays where you're gonna be asked to carry the load and single-handedly lift this team. We saw Brock Bowers do it. We've seen Roseman do it. Now I think you look at the situation where who else is going to be that guy, because it just is what it is. But what is Keon doing?
Eating chips.
Oh, he's eating chips. Jeff asked a good question. So we're going to hold on. We got some comments. We're going to read some comments real fast. Jeff Hightoff asked, "Did Arian Smith play 1 snap?" I don't even think we did. I don't remember seeing him. He probably did, but I know he didn't get to target or nothing like that, at least. Hayes Bringer says, "Auburn schemed us well, but we adjusted and came back, which is different with our football team. I think we'll have more like this, but you will see us come out on top." I mean, I agree. I think people see these weaknesses that we had and got exposed with, and they're going to try to test that. I think that's what happened. But listen, Georgia's defense, I know we talk about the inability to set the edge and stuff like this, but guys, we did what we needed to on the passing game. They couldn't pass the ball on us.
And still kept them under 100 yards.
88 yards.
Which,
now,
I mean,
They had success on the run game. However, there were points where they did start to open it up. And I'll tell you right now, I was worried about Everett getting bullied, but he made one play, and I think everybody remembers this.
He made a couple of plays.
Well, fair. The one that I'm talking about specific though, guy across back shoulder, leaning back like this, right, if you will, whoop, straight knocked it out.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hesitate, didn't panic, nothing.
That was a hate punch.
Turns his head, just goes, doop, knocks the ball right out.
Yeah, that was a hate punch.
I know we had some good plays. I know he had a couple good plays, but that one right there stuck out to me because at that moment, when you're watching the game, you're like, oh, he just got beat. And then he just turns his head, punches, ball goes out. And that's like, oh, fuck yeah, nice play. You know what I mean? So it was just one of those things where you're like, you saw him grow up and because he got tested a little bit, and that's what you want to see as well. Also, Malachi Starks, Rudes loves you, by the way. That interception was a beautiful thing. But also, think about this. If Peyton Thorne was any sort of accurate Saturday, Javon Bullard had a pick six, by the way, early in the game. Because if it was any more accurate, that's a pick. And it's probably for 6. Just gonna leave that there. Just gonna leave that there. So we got Harry Leggy. What's going on, Harry?
What's up, chat? How y'all doing, man?
Yeah,
we are in here.
The brigade's coming in hot and strong. It's like a Georgia game, starting off slow but getting hot quick. Love it.
Honestly, the first half, more to be desired, if anything, I would say. But man, I got to be honest with you guys. I don't know anybody else in the SEC that could have came out and had Carson's first half and second half
and survived the game
and would have won the game. I really can't name you anybody. I really can't.
Yeah, no doubt, guys. Before we get to our game, before we get to report cards and game balls, Keon, since you're coming back, or since you're just now joining us, let's give you your thoughts on Saturday's game. I know you wanted to talk some stuff. Take some time to air your grievances if you have any, and let us know what your thoughts are.
From our game,
the
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
First, shout outs to the Arkansas fans. Y'all don't know how to win games, but boy, y'all sure know how to tailgate. Holy shit. I
was lost, but now I'm found because I forgot you probably went to that tailgate, didn't you?
Oh man, we were drinking at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were drinking while we were setting up. It was beautiful.
I literally was lost. I was like, where the fuck is this going? And then all of a sudden he starts talking about the tailgate. And I'm like, oh, he went.
Yeah, no, it was a great scene. It was a great scene. I had a great time. Now, the Arkansas fans, shit got sour once the game got played. Not me. I had a wonderful time all the way through.
My man third party the shit out of that.
Oh, my God. Wore my national championship shirt. And then also wore the shoes that I got from Alumni Hall. Shout out to Alumni Hall. Shout out to Alumni Hall. Hella comfortable. Didn't even think that I didn't know that they were going to be that comfortable. That was my first time putting them on. So major shout outs to Alumni Hall.
Do we have to do it there, guys?
Yeah.
You bring it up. Check that scan that QR code, dgdpodcast.com. Look for the sponsors. Click Alumni Hall. Go check them out. All right, go shop. Follow them on Instagram and the Bird app, if you will. At Alumni Hall UGA, or X as they call it now.
Right.
The old heads will call it the Bird app for the end of days. But shout out to Alumni Hall for sponsoring the show.
But overall, it was amazing. The tailgate. Now, when the game got played, shit got tricky. Okay?
Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Deep South Zone rivalry, though. What did you see? What were your thoughts?
So the first half, to me, I saw us have like a couple of miscues on offense. I saw our defense kind of struggle when it came to setting the edge. I know we still don't have some guys back that we would love to have, but I think when I look at guys like Jalen, he's doing multiple different things. But yet again, we got to get him to lock in on setting that edge because, man, those fake inside handoffs. A couple of times I was fooled. I'm like, oh snap! Here go the running back. Oh, there goes Peyton Thorne. Somebody stop him! Oh, thank God! Oh, thank God! Thank you, Malachi Starks. You stopped him after Buddy cut up field and damn near house called it. But it was a
Back from their
couple of
own end zone too. That was the scary part. I was like,
right,
shit. I was like,
man.
oh shit. If that was Robbie Ashford, I swear to God, I think that's a tutty though.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I
That dude was
agree.
running for his fucking life on that play.
Yeah, the old saying, "I run faster scared than you do angry." That was Peyton Thorne the entire game.
To a perfect representation of that fucking that motto right there. Good Lord. Kobe, could you run that fast ever?
If I had to, 100%.
Yeah. If you put some German shepherds behind him, we're gonna watch him turn into Christian McCaffrey. Ain't that right?
They say that about Patrick Mahomes when he runs. He runs at n plus one speed, where n is however fast you're chasing him.
See,
right.
My thought is this too. And I see Harry was screaming what he said. He was screaming. Hayes broke down a lot of stuff on the defensive run fits and stuff. My thought was this, right? I thought it was setting the edge, and I was screaming that shit too.
Man.
But my thing is this: it's not 100% on the ends, because sometimes listen, as fans, we're not necessarily sure how it's coached, but you also have to understand defensive linemen have to stop and not allow offensive linemen to pull to the second level, right?
Yeah.
It stops linebackers flowing and filling gap assignments. So it's a whole defensive effort, in my opinion. Now, I do think that we do need better edge play by all means, because if you extend it and force them back in, shit changes. So I'm not going to say that it's not all that, you know what I mean? But I do think there's some situations where you have to be able to shed blocks. You have to stop and hold the blocks. If you're getting blocked, sustain it, ride it out, and not let the offensive line get to the second level. I mean, am I wrong, Kobe, on that? Or
I'm not gonna lie, I was hardly listening. I'm talking with Walla Walla about Matt.
Walla Bill, y'all.
That's on me.
God damn.
But overall,
net.
I mean, the first half, yet again, more to be desired. I'm glad that we honestly tried to get the running game going early. I just wish that we would have had more connection with that moving into the second quarter. Now, the second half, we just decided to say, hey, Brock Bowers, you and this other white dude, Lad McConkey, we about to show y'all how dangerous these white men are. Because
say that again.
These white men are dangerous. No one is to go near them.
I'm telling you. And you know what? In the second half, Brock Bowers took that shit personal and said, I'm about to make everybody on this defense.
I am the captain now.
I'm trying to tell you. And he took over. But it was a wonderful sight to see, just because of one penalty off of illegal formation. We watched the sweetest catch in the world. I was at work today, rewatching it.
He draked that shit, right? He Georgia. He did pull to Georgia, went back to back.
Yeah, no,
that shit was
literally
nasty. That shit was nasty.
And to see that get wiped off but overall, like, I was at work and I was watching it, and I remember I pulled my coworker to the side, and I'm like, hey man, I know you don't watch football, but let me tell you something. This guy, number 19, Brock Bowers,
he gets it.
Unlike anything you've ever seen. Hit play, he saw the play, and he was just like, holy shit.
Which I want to get to Jeff, because Jeff, listen, we're gonna have to designate some stuff here. That he brought us over under results, and we're going to talk about that. But I want to talk about Brock Bowers. I think there is a conversation to be had at this point that he is arguably one of the, if not the best players in college football. I think you have to make somewhat of a debate there.
I think you kind of solidify your position with getting the Mackey. Also, excuse me, shout outs to him. He's tied with AJ Green with the most receiving touchdowns.
And he's got 7 more to tie TE.
I thought it was 8. thought T had
No, he had
38
30. He
or
had 30.
31.
No, he had 30.
Oh,
You got 8 to
oh,
break it. 8 to break it.
oh, yeah, that's going to be done before the season's over.
There's your take right there, guys. You heard that?
Yeah, go ahead
Kobe,
and clip that one.
Kobe, I want to get your thoughts, man. I feel like having this type of player to this level as a tight end as a tight end, it's not a receiver. It's not, to me, that speaks volumes more than you could imagine. I mean, when was there's been several throughout history, but it's just hard to find a tight end that's that dynamic. And listen, if you're a Georgia fan, I know you better not take this shit for granted because you've got a few more games and then he's gone to the NFL. So please enjoy this while it lasts. Ride the ride. Let's go.
Yeah, I think the big thing about Brock Bowers to me that stands out is just the consistency. I mean, I think that you would be, you would have to look back to like David Pollock to see the 3 years of sustained success that Brock Bowers has had. I mean, basically, he was a freshman All-American.
Yeah.
Should have won the Mackey, the first freshman to ever win the Mackey, would have been. And then last year has just as good a year, wins the Mackey, is a regular All-American, is very much headed in the direction of being a 3-time All-American. I think that's what makes him so impressive. Like, I think you can go back and look at 2020 Kyle Pitts and think like, oh, he's a phenomenal tight end. He's a top 5 draft pick, I think. Has all these unbelievable stats, but really in his career, that's the only year that he really did that. Versus like you're saying, Brock is going to be not only one of the best tight ends to ever play at the University of Georgia, but one of the best pass catchers to ever play. Like we've all looked on Twitter and seen, he's on pace to like have more yards than I think be like top 5 in yards, maybe more top 5 in completions, top 5 in all these things, and he'll be one of the only players that played 3 years to do all these things. So I think that if you're going out and you're having to say, I'm an NFL team, I think obviously guys are going to look at Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison. But I mean, like you're saying, right there with them in that top 3 of the best players in college football, kind of to me, the people that are the generational talents. Brock Bowers will be right there in probably that top 3 debate for me.
I think he's earned that shit 100%. Now I want to go to this because I want to do this because Jeff brought up the over-unders from Wednesday, and let's discuss. I'm going to try to pull it up. We'll walk you through it. So he went over-under Beckett 296 yard. He went over. He hit the over with 313. The over, we had 3 sacks. He called over-under was 2.5 set by Jeff. Over-under 1.5 picks. We went under. Like I said, though, if Peyton Thorne was any sort of accurate, that shit's up. Hit the over, by the way. Beck 2.5 touchdown passes, went under with 1. And then over-under Lovett with 66. He went under with 25. I mean, for what it's worth, I think Carson Beck had himself a game. But with that being said, let's switch to the report cards, my guy. Let's do that. And let's start out with quarterback, Carson Beck. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. I don't think this is going to be any debate here, but I'm going to pose this question anyway. Kobe, what is your grade for the quarterbacks?
I mean, it's going to sound crazy, like we're saying. He only threw one touchdown, threw an interception. But man, still threw for over 300 yards in Jordan Hare. Didn't really let the interception rattle him. Didn't really let the missed throw rattle him. I mean, like you're saying, that's the kind of game that used to get away from Stetson Bennett. And, it's either the game he came in, he played lights out, or it's the game where he threw that interception in the first 15 minutes, and you're like, oh, boy, this could be a long one. And I think that he just did such a good job of settling himself in, calming himself. It just really shows that, he is a 4th-year guy back there. He doesn't have the on-field experience, but he has the in practice, the pressure, the feeling of, this team is counting on me. He's not that some 18-year-old out there, scared to death. I think A- for the quarterbacks this week, because I think when we needed him, he was there. He delivered some really good passes. Obviously, can't be an A+, but I mean, it was an overall probably the most impressive performance as far as like leadership and confidence from Carson Beck all year.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Keon, what you got, sir?
I'm gonna go with an A. Honestly, I'm looking at a guy who went on the road, Deep South's oldest rivalry. Jordan Hare was rocking. Yet again rallied back after a slow start and that interception, which I'm really not even putting on him because truthfully, that just comes down to the DB making a play.
That was an
But
excellent fucking read on that, and he
yeah,
crashed down. He crashed down so perfect on that. It was
exactly.
nasty.
I mean, and then it's literally right time, right place. Even on that interception, I went back and watched it about 4 different times. If he doesn't crash at that very moment, at worst case scenario, if he doesn't crash down at that very moment, it's an incompletion. Like, like worst case scenario. But overall, rallied back to second half, came out there was strong, throwing dots, throwing like y'all gotta understand, especially if you're looking at that second half, you're watching Carson Beck literally throw in between defenders. Okay. He's literally putting the ball where only the wide receiver or Brock Bowers can get it. So overall, I got him at an A.
I've got an A+. I'm gonna give you why. Here's why. Yes, he had a pick, but again, defender made an excellent fucking play because he threw it into he threw an NFL play. The defender just made that much of a great play. So I'm not going to hold back as much onto him as people would. But also, what trumps that interception for me, the multitude of throws and decisions that he made that benefited the team. He didn't check down. You know what I mean? He started seeing the field better. And to me, especially on the road, first road test, that growth right there was perfect. Harry says it right here. He says Beck's coming right along. Team is still a work in progress. To me, I'm giving it A+ because I saw him make some excellent decisions, and that matters because there's going to be situations. Well, Auburn was one. You're going to need that again, and I want to see if he contains that sustains that consistency. Right. I have to give him credit. He made a lot of excellent throws, especially fourth quarter. Managing a 98-yard touchdown drive is insane. But then you go back and you hit another long drive to win the game, right? We talk about the first half slow starts. I don't give a shit about that right now. Bunch of good decisions, being careful with the ball, right? Had that one touch or one interception, whatever. But a lot of good decisions, and you got the ball into the guy's hands. Made some excellent throws. I thought he had some good ball placement on a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the one pass that Bowers caught behind his back. It was away from the defender to some degree too. So again, his ball placement was good for the receivers as well. The ball communication was nice. I thought so too.
And before we get off of this, yet again, I want the audience to truly understand. Pick any quarterback in the SEC. Pick any one of them. Give them Carson's first half. How many of those guys are going to lead you down a 98-yard drive to score a touchdown?
Dude, it's hard to do. I mean, especially in a road environment too.
Maybe
People
one.
people talk about People talk about starting drives and going the length of the field. Well, usually when they do that, when they have those conversations, that's from the 25 fucking yard line, Bucko. He did this at the 2. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah. So I think we all got good grades there. Let's transition to the running backs. I'll start with mine. I'm gonna give it an A-. There's some to be desired, right? But at the same time, listen, Dejon and Dylan Bell are the go-to guys.
yes.
Like that should be until further notice. That is the norm. And I want to see more of that. I just want more toss sweep. I feel like Will Ferrell right now. More cowbell, nah. more zone, more toss sweep. Give me more toss sweep, please. I'm just gonna leave that there. So I'm going A minus. Either one can go next.
Yeah, I think that I think I'm right there with you at A minus. I think that they did some things when it was needed. Sometimes I think about some of the play calling, obviously not their fault. Obviously, like you're saying, get them out on the perimeter, let them have those tall sweeps, let them make a guy miss, especially if your name's Dylan Bell. I mean, you throw him a tall sweep, and it's no different than your screen game at some point. Like, he's a big, athletic human being running at very small cornerbacks, and even if it is a safety, he is as big as most safeties as well. So, I think A minus is a fair grade for the running backs. I think they teetered maybe more to B plus for me, but I think A minus is
Well, you had the one situation where I could see you kind of going to the B plus, even though it wasn't a fumble. That Dejon losing the ball was concerning to some degree. Even though ultimately ultimately we saw that it wasn't, but that's still something that you want to protect the ball. Other than that, that's a small, minute, critique. Keon, what you got, sir?
I mean, I got an A. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real short, simple, and to the point. One of our running backs is a fucking wide receiver, and he's out here balling at a whole nother position, even though he used to play this position, but still nonetheless, he's still balling out, doing what he needs to, and yet again trying to fight for those hard yards. Dejon Edwards, man, words can't even describe how much we truly appreciate you at this very moment, man. Uh Keeping that running. You and Dylan Bell are literally the backbone of the running back room at this very moment, and I appreciate what they're doing.
Just keep in mind, so Kendall did get to play a little bit, but at the same time, I think as we move forward in the coming weeks, right? You've got a couple games, and you got your bye week, right? And I think that bye week's going to come at a crucial time because you're going to look at guys out of this backfield that, like Roderick Robinson, could be coming back full healthy or close to fully healthy. Kendall Milton gives him some extra time to get better, right? So you look at the situation right there, and I think you're starting to piece it together. Like those two are holding it down, and Cash Jones are holding it, or those two mostly, but Cash Jones is there too, holding it down and letting Roderick get healthy, Kendall get fully healthy or close to healthy, because obviously it's in the season, so you never are going to be 100%. And just build the depth back, right? Try to stay healthy at that point, right? I think that's key now. It's just getting healthy and trying to maintain that. Let's move to the receivers.
Uh,
You want to go first, Keon? Go first.
yeah, I want to start this out by saying happy belated birthday to Malachi Muse. He recently had a birthday.
That's my guy. Get
My
Starks
apologies.
off your brain.
My bad.
Redo.
Yeah, redo. Nah, but happy birthday to Makai Muse. Like, appreciate you and what you did this game. Seriously. Like,
hold on to the ball.
definitely.
Right. What's your grade for receiver, sir?
I'm gonna say a B minus. Even though we saw guys come yet again, we got Lab back. We're excited. We're happy about that. We're gonna see him be more. They're gonna orchestrate him more into the scheme of the offense as, of course, the weeks go on. But it's good to have him back. Yet again, I'm looking at that pick, and I'm saying, man, you got to see the ball. You got to see the ball. You got to make a play on the ball. You have a defender that's crashing down on you yet again. Great play by the defender. I keep saying it. But for me, I'm gonna say a B plus or a B minus. Sorry.
Kobe, what you got, sir?
Oh, big fat C. You were just average. You didn't do anything to hurt us. You didn't really do a ton to help us. I mean, you definitely, obviously, let's see. Marcus Rosemary has 2 catches, 44 yards with a long of 26. Ladd has 4 catches for 38 yards. Dom Lovett has 3 catches for 25 yards. Rara has 2 catches for 24 yards. Like, I get it. They definitely, but that's what I expect, I guess, out of our receivers. Like, those numbers are, like, the bare minimum of what I think, like, I would have loved to have seen. Obviously it's hard. Brock Bowers has 160 yards, but he also only has 8 catches. Like you're saying, Ladd McConkey, to be fair, who's back from injury, has 4 catches and doesn't even have 40 yards. And I understand, like, the route makes it, but if you got more separation, if you're more open, if you're constantly more open, I think you get the ball. It's the same reason Brock gets the ball. He's open. Like, I think sometimes people get it confused that, and we do on occasion, force him the ball. Like, obviously the play is designed to go to him, so the ball is kind of more forced. I don't think people realize, like, just how open this man is sometimes. Like, it's not a mystery why he's running across the middle of the field wide open. He puts a good move on a defender on the line and then runs into open space. So, Jeff says Rara had one of the biggest in the group with a third down snag. I agree. Jeff, I guess a C. I'm not trying to be too harsh, but I guess that
it basically met the status quo.
Yeah, you lived up to the expectations we have for receivers at the University of Georgia, and I expect for you to help us and not hurt us, and that's basically what you did. And I don't think it was to overabundance of more than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I guess I'll be a little bit more Disney doggish. I don't know. I'm gonna go solid B, and the reason why I say that is this: you didn't really have any drops like that, right? You had the Delp miss throw, but that's a tight end situation, quarterback situation, so it's not even receiver related. But at the same time, you didn't really have a lot of drops, and like Jeff said, you had that nice conversion on that third down, and it made some acrobatic. That was, a little bit more acrobatic. It was a little bit behind them. However, right, when we saw the free blitz, things like that, right? Like, that's the fact that he got it out and got it there and completed it was as big as, that was the main thing. But you had some good receivers. And then Ladd comes in and sustains drives, right? And I think that has to account for something there. So I'm going to give him a solid B on this one.
Okay.
Let's just do this. We've talked enough about Brock Bowers. I'm just going to go ahead and skip tight end because it's an A+. Or does anybody object?
No. He got me over 50 points in my fantasy and helped us win the game. Hey, man, I'm still undefeated. Nobody's better than me. Dogs on top.
Good job, kicker boy.
Now, if only you could win the damn pick'ems.
Yeah, no, that's a little bit different. I can't just pick people from individual teams to carry it out, like fantasy teams.
Oh, man.
We haven't really got to pick a lot of Miami games this year. Keon barely knows what that is.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's an A+. Even with Delp's fumble, Brock Bowers single-handedly gave him an A+, even a plus. Shit. He single-handedly took over the game.
Yeah, it almost, like, deserves a split. Like, Brock Bowers, A++, Delp, like, separate grade, because
no, I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. No, shout out to Oscar.
It's like when you do no work on the group project and you come in and your professor's like, excellent work on the group project you turned in. You're like, we had a project?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
God damn. See what this is?
The guy had 160 yards. What do you mean? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's what I'm hearing right now. Pew, pew, pew. It was a firefight. That's all I'm hearing right now. All right, guys. Offensive line play. Let's talk this out here. I'll go ahead and start. I'm gonna go A-, and the reason why I say that is this: you pushed the movements when it mattered, right? You got the toss, sweep, touchdown, things like that, right? You kept Carson Beck upright. I think he maybe got sacked once. I think maybe 0 times. Okay, I remember him getting sacked. I think it was against UAB or something, but 0 sacks. So pass protection was chef's kiss there. And then in the run game, you kind of got it moving. Still a little bit of holes there, right? Working some guys into situations like that. But again, I'm going. I think I said A minus. I believe, didn't I? Yeah, I'm going A minus.
I'm gonna go A plus. You gave Carson enough time to really let plays develop. You had the opportunity there to keep people off of him. Yeah, the pressure may have been there at times, but overall, he didn't get hit, and that's the only thing. When it comes to that, I mean, that's one of the greatest things that we appreciate is the quarterback to have a clean jersey by the end of the game, and the offensive line saw to it to make sure. But overall, I'm gonna give him a solid A plus.
Walla Walla says B plus plus, bro. That's an A. Come on, that's an A.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an A minus at least.
What does the former offensive
That's like
lineman say?
hold on, that's like an extra medium. That
Yeah,
still made no fucking sense.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with Walla Walla. It's one of those. It's like it really feels like a B plus, but when you go back, like you're saying, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, you watch it emotionally, and
yeah,
your emotions scream B plus. You go back and you look at it more statistically, and
yeah.
you come back more like, okay, you gave up 0 sacks. Okay, you rushed for 100.
Well,
You
think
let
of the
Carson.
impact too, Kobe. Think of the impact on keeping a clean pocket for Carson
Oh,
Beck.
I agree, 100%. I
That's
mean,
especially in that environment and those circumstances. Keep that right there
Dejon
means
Edwards
more.
almost ran for 4 yards a carry. I mean, that's not just easy to do. So it's one of those things that I think A minus is a fair grade. I think that's a non-emotional like. Obviously, we still had some trouble on the right side of the offense. Big Truss, even my man, everybody's favorite mullet man. He had some issues at times, and then even Dylan Fairchild at moments. But I mean,
Boy, hold on. I know y'all remember Fairchild getting blown back that one play. It was obvious from the TV tape. I was like, oh, I mean, listen, and that to me says something because Fairchild is a sort of human being. The dude is physical. He's a former wrestler in high school, all that stuff. So he's strong. He's one of the strongest dudes on the team.
like you're saying though, it still does. You still have moments where you see certain individuals having trouble. I think as a line, as a collective unit, they played a lot better. There weren't those like compound mistakes that we were seeing earlier in the year where your left guard misses this block and then your right guard misses a block and then your left tackle's late getting to his assignment, 3rd and 12 or 4th and 12 punt. And you're like, what just happened? Why
Yeah.
did Bobo call such a terrible call? And you're like, well, 3 people missed blocks in 3 straight plays. Like,
Yeah.
let's not,
Go back and watch the tape on that Sunday, and you're like, ugh. How many holding calls called against Georgia's offensive line? I don't remember hearing one. I know there was some line, like I guess you could say like a couple offensive penalties. I don't think there was holding though that I remember. I don't believe so.
I'll go check.
Look at that. Look at that. We've got the statistic right there. Let's switch over to the defense. Keon, I'm gonna let you start, man. Defensive line. What are you giving them grades?
I'm gonna say it's a solid C. Solid C. We gotta set the edge, man. We have to set the edge. I think interior did a really good job early on, but yet again, setting that edge, we need that, especially coming through uh, the second half of the season, because we put some tape out there where you're seeing guys struggle on the edge play. The interior, I'm looking to see how things are going to go moving forward. I'm liking what we're doing. We still got some guys that are, we got a couple of pups licking their wounds there, and they're going to be back soon. But overall, I'll say a solid C.
I mean, talking about the sacks and stuff. I mean, hell, we had 3 sacks as well. But that's just an interjectory comment right there. So you said you're going with a solid C. Kobe, what say you, sir?
Jeff, I come with answers that may raise more questions. I don't know the exact penalties, obviously, but we were penalized 3 times for 30 yards on Saturday. The home team, 1 single time for 5 measly yards.
There was an obvious blatant fucking hold on CJ Allen though. I know y'all saw that.
That's what I'm saying, though. I mean, you telling me they committed
Don't
one?
even give me,
Even
dude.
us, 3 penalties.
Can we do a quick report card on the officiating? A for ass. Pure fucking ass is what that was.
I was gonna say F for fucked off because, man,
whichever tickles your fancy.
That shit was garbaggio.
B for blind.
B for blind.
Let us know in the comments which one you going with, guys. Probably going with F. But yeah, that shit was trash. Leave it to B. I'll leave it be. Hold on. Since we're talking about trash, why don't we talk about faking injuries too?
Oh, yeah. That was.
Why don't we talk about that? About that?
You know, a butterfly lands on the player.
Harry said they let him play, bro. There's times where that has to be accounted for, though. My man straight got fucking hell when Jarquez ran up the middle and right through B gap. I saw that shit. Because it literally looked like CJ Allen was like fucking leaping for the ball, but now his ass got held. I was like, okay. But no, Keon, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
A butterfly lands on a fucking Auburn player, and now Buddy is just collapsing. And then gets up and is like, no, I'm fine. Runs off the sideline. And then came back to the game. I know you were just giving your guys some time to adjust because they knew the comeback was coming. They knew it was on the way. They were just trying to stop it all.
Bro, that shit didn't start until the fucking third quarter.
Yeah.
We started trying to do any kind of tempo. My man just goes, blink.
Nope.
It's like Stephen Hawkins. Doom, 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 doom.
Right. Jesus. What was y'all's record on the defensive line?
I'll let Kobe start finishing it. Sorry, we got carried away, man. There was some we had some shit to get off our chest.
2 points. Defensive line, I'm giving them a B. I mean, I think that, well, I guess y'all consider like DNs or like OLBs kind of a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna go like C+ then, because there were definitely some times we fell for some pretty heavy eye candy. There were times that we as fans fell for same eye candy.
Boy.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that I think I just go back to my credit being that if you take away the 60-something yard run that Peyton Thorne had, you really hold them to like under 4 yards a clip, which it just is a pretty good defensive statistic. I mean, they ran the ball. Let's see.
They didn't even pass that much.
Like 40 times, I think.
They didn't pass for shit. They tried to do it more in the second half, but yeah, it was rough.
Let me get back to this.
Look at
that. I'm going to give 43 times. I mean,
so the average clip ain't even that bad then, if that's the case. Just based off of volume alone, your average is not necessarily terrible. I mean, you're running for probably 5 or so yards a carry with everything included, 5 or 6, somewhere in that range. But I mean, like you said,
5.1 yards a carry, so still way too much. But if you take out the 61-yard one,
then that shit goes below 4, probably like 3.9.
Some math.
Un momento.
Walla Walla, wherever you are.
Un momento. I'm going C+ as well, man. Interior wreaked havoc early. In the passing situation, you got to the quarterback, you made him uneasy. Rushed. Listen, he couldn't throw the ball any goddamn way, but you get what I mean. What now? You got your stat?
You take out the 61-yard run on Peyton Thorne, and you're at 3.7 yards.
Look at that.
Carry.
Changes the optics completely, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Listen, just going to let you know right now, Peyton Thorne was running for his fucking life.
Telling you.
That boy was moving. I was like, at that point, I was like, you son of a bitch, get down. I was like, somebody get that motherfucker, man.
Bro, you could tell he was running. Because if you go back and watch it, it's all in the eyes. fear God in the eyes. You could tell he was running and was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh
bro, you
shit!"
can see not the TV, not the highlight. You saw when they went to commercial break. You saw that man running. He would look back. He was like,
"Oh shit! Yeah, I'm gonna run out of bounds. I'm gonna run out of bounds. I'm gonna run out of bounds."
"Nah, my man looked like he had the worst case of the shits coming up, and he knew what was about to happen." I'm just gonna leave that there. But nah, I mean, listen, that man took advantage of that run. Somewhat of a rough angle situation and just capitalize on it, right? So got to give him props for that too, I guess. Even it pains me to fucking say that.
No,
Yeah. Let's talk linebackers, guys. Kobe, I'll let you start.
we cannot hear you, sir.
It would help if I unmuted.
Yep.
It
There it is. There it
I think I'm
is.
kind of rolling with
Hooray, you did it.
them and the D linemen in a similar thought process of like statistically, without that 61-yard run, like you actually have a pretty good game. I'd have to go back and watch that play a little bit more to decide who like actually should have tackled Peyton Thorne. I don't remember off the top of my head who was like the guy that should have been on the quarterback, but I think a B plus or a B minus is just a fair grade for your backers this game, especially since we're counting like OLBs with the defensive line.
What is Ke? I just need to know what Keon's doing because I hear a lot of audio back there. What are you doing, dude?
My bad. My bad.
No, I'm just curious. I was like, what is he doing down there? What's he doing over there, man?
Scratching my heel.
Yeah, so I think, again, emotionally is one grade, but you go back and you watch it, I think B minus is a fair enough grade for the linebackers. I think they got to continue to get better. I think
Better angles, take better angles is one thing.
Kentucky's going to show you a lot. I think that this is the kind of game that you may see a lot of people play against Kentucky. That I think your best 11 players
We're gonna run out there. I mean, like I think we'll talk about. I want to keep that point in mind, but I want to take it to the secondary because I think that shit's gonna matter. You'll see why. I'll go ahead and go mine. I'm gonna go same grade, Kobe. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Same concept. I didn't see nothing to necessarily be a detriment. I did see that you got hit with blocks from the offensive lineman and you couldn't get off of them, so that might be a little bit of a ding there. But at the same time, how much of it is on the D line to sustain the block to let you roam free to fill the gaps? Or be more instinctive and get there ahead of time. I mean, either way, I'm gonna give you the same grade. I'm cheating on the quiz.
So I'll say a solid B. This is me.
How you fucking trolling, Kobe? For the podcast listeners, it's just a troll job. Just gonna leave that there.
Yeah. Just gonna give him a B. Let it out.
And that's how we fix that shit.
Oh shit! I was like, damn.
That's how we fix that. So you said solid B, right?
Yeah, honestly, man, I'm gonna say a solid B.
Right. I guarantee the people on the podcast like, what the fuck is this noise? My earphones are hurting my ears right now. I can see it. But it sounds like tinfoil. Is that your feet? Is that your feet, tinfoil?
No, not at all. I'm actually grabbing a water bottle.
Keon, I'm about to tell you right now, your nickname is about to start recalling tinfoil. The noises being hearing right now.
Little Tink Tink. That's my new nickname. Little Tink Tink. I don't have toes. I just got paper clips. That's it.
You got 10 toes down?
Can't be 10 toes down. I'm 10 tink tink down. That's it.
No, 10. Get it? 10 toes down?
Yeah.
But no. I'm just kidding. We'll move to the secondary. Who wants to do secondary?
A plus.
A plus second. Okay. Why is that?
I mean, outside of the interception that we got Malachi Starks walking off with, I do think I really do think that if Javon was able to, if that ball was thrown even just a little bit better, you're definitely right on the house call. Definitely right on the house call. Plus, Malachi saved us from a touchdown being scored on us early by Peyton Thorne. So, he was everywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm going solid A. I wanted to pick 6. It was there. Just the quarterback couldn't make that fucking throw. I'm just gonna leave that there. But Dalen Everett grew up. Like I said, he got tested, responded well. Julian Humphrey came in trying to be super fucking aggressive, trying to make tackles and come in, and that's the shit that I want to see, and especially moving forward this season. If he comes in, I want to see him be aggressive on run support. I think that's nice, and making tackles, come up and make tackles like that. It's nice to have Javon Bullard back. Nice to have him back. Kobe, what you got?
Short, sweet, to the point. A+. I mean, you keep the streak of. I mean, I can expand, but I mean, keep the streak of under 100 yards. They only have 11 completions. You have an interception. You probably should have had, a second interception.
Yeah,
I think, like you're saying, Dalen Everett plays phenomenal. He knocks out 2, possible catches out of the receiver's hands. I mean, those are just big time PBUs from a guy that's really still kind of learning on the fly and really getting, hate to say picked on, but he is getting.
It's a lot of it is because Kamari is such a just shutdown guy. We haven't heard much out of Kamari, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
right.
A+. On to my favorite time to grade.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you start off. Listen, I think it's tradition. Special teams report card always starts off with Mr. Special Teams himself.
A+. Let me read you some of these right here. Only thing that would have like my man Makai Muse with the fumble, but he didn't lose it. So.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But he didn't lose it.
Muff the punt. That's right. I was going to say that. I don't remember him losing a fumble, and then you caught the all to it. Yeah.
So he gets it. Makai Muse, though, 3 returns on kickoffs for 80 yards with a long of 41.
That's good return average. That's good return.
My man Peyton Woodring showing up, 2 for 2 on field goals, long of 38. Wow, 83 would have been a crazy field goal.
Justin Tucker, move the fuck out of the way.
Points. And the leg from down under, the
punter from down under.
Yep, 3 punts, 140 yards.
Oof.
Including one that stopped inside the 20 with a long of 52 on the day.
So he's averaging about 50 almost at that point.
Special teams came to play. So
now the one thing I would say, the only blemish, and you said an A+, I'm gonna stick with an A+ as well. You could ding them for the coverage on kickoff return because they did allow them to kind of get a nice little return going that one time. But outside of that, it was lights out. It's not enough for me to ding them to a solid A. I'm going A+.
Their longest return, that return you're talking about, was only a 32-yard return.
I know, but outside of that, like I said, they shut shit down.
I'll take my odds on that.
Well, no shit. Yeah. That's why I got him A+.
I'm gonna go with A+ as well. Woodring yet again stepped up. Another good week for you. Appreciate the points in my fantasy league, Bucko. But overall, yeah, Makai, you did a great job. I mean, hey, you fumbled, but guess what? You didn't lose it, and that's all that matters. As long as you use it and you don't lose it, we're always gonna make money on that.
Yeah. Those are the report cards. Now, game balls. I think we might have to do this for the sake of time. Offensive game ball, is everybody choosing Brock Bowers? You know what? Do y'all, Kobe? Do you want Brock Bowers?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Keon, do you want Brock Bowers?
Oh, hell yeah!
I'll do this. Give me Carson back.
I had a feeling.
Give me Carson back. My man, listen. My man single-handedly grew up and led 2 long touchdown drives, guys. 300 yards in a road environment against the Auburn team. Arguably should have beat them by more. However, first true road test, lived up to everything, the expectations, and then some. Give me my offensive. Give me Carson Beck. Shut up, Mr. Beck. Defense. All right, defense. Keon, who you got first?
Malachi Starks. I mean, you save us from getting a touchdown scored on us on literally the first play. And then you walk away with the pick. Plus, you made your presence be known throughout the game as well. Hard to argue against that. So, yeah, for him, it would definitely be Malachi Starks.
Kobe, who's your defensive, or who's your other game ball to?
Yeah, I think I said it earlier. I think that Dalen Everett had a big game. Was kind of thrown out quite a few times and really stepped up to the plate. We're going to need him throughout. Obviously, like you're talking about with Kamari Laster, people are not going to throw at him, and if they do, it's not going to be consistently. Like you may throw at him on a one route out of every 10, but most of the time, whoever he is covering is not getting thrown at consistently. So
yeah, they're shutting shit down.
You can just count on Dalen Everett or the other corner for that matter. It's not really a knock on you as a corner as much as it is praise to Kamari. But they've all been through it. I mean, Kamari's been through it. Guys that we've always seemed to have that one really good corner and then that other corner that kind of seems to get picked on. It just so happens it's because one of them is just that much better. So
I'm gonna throw a curveball. Give me Peyton Woodring. Talk about redemption, dude. Like, dude didn't even get an attempt to kick last game. Like, you were in a slump, and then you come out on a road environment as a freshman. That's his first road game too, and be just automatic in that game. Single-handedly led us to a tie game, and ultimately was the benefactor of some points that we needed. And you hit every extra point, knocked both your field goals in, getting out of that funk, maybe. You know what I mean? Just automatic. It felt, and it was right down the middle. There was never an issue at all. It was just crystal clear right down the middle every time. On the road in the SEC, that shit matters. Give me Peyton Woodring. Give me Peyton Woodring.
Said, I hope we don't see you a single time this week.
I mean, listen, to some degree, yes. I think that's the case. Guys, let's do this.
I mean, if we score touchdowns, he got to make the extra point. So I'm still getting points regardless.
We'll see you for the ones, not the threes this week.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's ideal. Guys, let's jump into our second sponsor before we get into our favorite segment of the week. Apotheos Roastery. Guys, have it every morning. Classic City Collective Dark Blend, man, can never go wrong there. It's never disappointed. Check them out, dgdpodcast.com. Go to the sponsors, click on Apotheos. Right, if you want to go to this place, they are located in Kennesaw, Georgia, 2871 Cherokee Street Northwest in Kennesaw. If you want to be specific, check them out at Apotheos Roastery on Instagram, Apotheos Coffee on Twitter or X. Scan the QR code if you see this. And listen, every single bag or K-Cup that you purchase, 20% goes to the Classic City Collective as well. So keep that in mind. Thank you, Apotheos. Guys, we put it in the comments. Y'all know what time it is. Favorite part of the preview or the review shows, you know what time it is. Keon, let them know your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. With that being said, sir, I'm going to let Keon start.
Yeah, let's get a ISO here. Arkansas, come on over. This is going to be a twofer. Florida, be on standby. Arkansas, we heard all of this shit this offseason about, your offense. Oh, y'all got wide receivers. Oh, you got DBs out the portal. You got a wide receiver out the portal. I watched this Arkansas game really screwed me up because I have Haas on my fantasy team. Buddy went out in the first quarter. So that kind of put me in the deficit. So I'm like, okay, Arkansas, maybe y'all can still come out here and keep it close, keep it respectable. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. Texas A&M beat the brakes off y'all asses with a backup quarterback who they didn't even expect to come into this game prior to last week with their starting quarterback getting injured. Starting quarterback, backup quarterback, Uncle Rico. Texas A&M looked at y'all and said, Aggies with the dub. Now, Florida, let's talk about you. Let's talk to you. Florida Gators, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Yet again, we're back for the second time already, with y'all being trash, y'all having to deal with it, and being a part of this segment. Can we talk about how Florida just lost to a SEC basketball powerhouse? Can we talk about the fact that they lost to a basketball powerhouse? I remember so many Florida fans that had a lot to say when they saw Miami lose to Duke, and y'all turn around and lose to Kentucky. You had a running back who had damn near 200 yards at halftime. Thank God I didn't play the guy who had him in my fantasy league, because I probably would have got my ass whooped. 190 yards at halftime? Y'all didn't even lose to Kentucky. Y'all just lost to the running back. Your team is trash, Florida. You have to deal with that. Look yourself in the eye. Go ahead and cry with the lights off.
Just gonna leave it here.
Jesus.
I heard your number. It was actually over 200 in the first half. To one back. It was 2 of 6, I think.
Oh. That makes it a lot worse, actually.
Kobe, let's do this. Do you want it to be your turn or do you want it to be my turn?
I'll go.
Okay.
You know, not my best segment of the week, but I felt personally convicted about this one because I kind of talked to the guys. Our little brother to the west, the Nerds of Atlanta, you break out the all black alternate uniforms against Bowling Green this week. You roll in, your quarterback throws for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns, and you lose by 11 points to Bowling Green at home. It's just amazing. Shout out Don Blaylock, the only bright spot. Shout out Don Blaylock, former dog, 7 receptions, 131 yards. Don was cooking, but Georgia Tech, I mean, you give up like 400 yards of total offense to Bowling Green. They control the ball, they shorten the game, and they embarrass you at home. You're only their second win all year. They were 1-3 coming into the game, and now they're 2-3, and they beat you at home. Maybe all 2,000 fans in attendance saw it, but just like Scott Cochran once said, "Man, you wore black to your own funeral." So, Georgia Tech, you're trash, and you're gonna have to deal with that.
God, spitting facts. God damn, spitting facts. Man, oh man. I've got several selections. I'm trying to figure out who I want to. You know what? I've got a couple. I'm gonna start off with one though. Give me a second. Hey, Trojan fans, where you at? Trojan fans, bring that ass here. How y'all got Caleb Williams, but y'all ain't got no defense? Like you let Colorado drop 41 on y'all's asses, and y'all call yourselves a playoff contender? Yikes! Your defense has been on a fucking milk carton since Alex Grinch got there. Shit's trash. Right? Shit is trash. I'm not calling your offense trash because that would be stupid on my part. But Trojans, I'm not letting you slide with this defensive. There's no fucking defense at all. It cannot pass. So specifically, Trojan defense, your shit's trash. Y'all have to deal with that. This is what it is. That's just what it is. Caleb Williams, shout out to you, sir. You can throw the ball. You might win the Heisman. Who fucking knows? But that defense, it's just trash. Now, here's where it gets juicy. LSU fans, hey, psst. Hey, bring that ass here too. Fucking Ole Miss still throwing touchdowns on y'all's ass and it's a Tuesday. It's a fucking Tuesday, and they still throwing touchdowns on you. I swear to God, they probably throwing 81 touchdowns right now. Here we are, Tuesday, and they still throwing a touchdown. And literally, as I look at my phone. Oh, that's right, Jackson Dart done ran it in this time. Y'all can't stop nobody. God damn. I mean, shit. Like that was nothing but offense. So for this pack, why don't I do a 3-part? Ole Miss, your defense is trash too. You just won the fucking game. Somebody had to win that game. And play some fucking defense every once in a while. Both of y'all's teams are trash. Y'all got to deal with that. And I can't wait till we play Ole Miss and wax that ass in fucking Sanford too. Just gonna leave that there, by the way. Leaving that there. I digress.
I got another one.
Oh,
I like going for the fun ones. It's a bad fucking week to be gold and black as your team. UCF, you were winning 35-7 in the third quarter, and prepared. You know, your first year in the Big 12. You haven't won a game yet. You're playing Baylor. Baylor's had a terrible year. You're up 35-7 in the third quarter, with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, to be exact. And then with 3 minutes to go in the third, Baylor kicks a field goal to make it 35-10, and you proceed to lose 36-35 in the biggest comeback in Baylor school history since they've ever been playing football there. The biggest comeback in school history for a win, to win 36-35. UCF, you still haven't won a game in the Big 12 yet. It's a tough look for you and everybody that made the jump from Group of 5 to Power 5. And so for now, UCF, your team's trash. And you and the Gus bus are going to have to deal with that.
Wait. I got one more, and then we can close it out.
I got one more after you too, so I might have to wrap it up. Let me do mine first. The reason why I do that is because I know where you're about to go. But I just want to take a subtle shot. Kobe, you'll probably understand where this coming from. Utah. I know you didn't have Cam Rising, but just like your state, your shit's trash. Y'all got to deal with that. If only you had Rudes Rising. If you had Rudes Rising, you would have won that fucking game. You'd have beat DJ Ukulele and Oregon State, but you didn't, and you lost, and you squirted dookie juice down your leg because you shit the bed on national TV. So therefore, again, Utah, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. It's that simple.
All right. So I got one more for you. Only one. South Carolina. Gamecocks. Fried chicken is what y'all turned into when y'all went out to Tennessee, because what in the hell was that? Shane Beamer. Spencer Rattler. Beamer ball. Where was that? Y'all ran out of fireworks last year when it came to that game. And then showed up this year, and it appeared that yesterday was all you had. So with that said, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that.
Man,
but I appreciate everybody.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Follow us on the socials, on the social medias.
Yeah, no doubt about that, guys. Listen, you could go on and on, but you just gotta let some of these folks point out the fact that their team is in fact trash, and and who's to say after Saturday you're gonna have a whole nother slew of teams to look at, right? Just gonna have chickens were plucked, right? Chickens were fried like my Bojangles Supremes.
Can you imagine having 2 losses before Halloween? Couldn't be my team.
Couldn't be Florida. Fucking garbage ass team.
South Carolina.
Fucking Auburn. Auburn's only had, even though you only had one, I don't care. You're fucking Auburn. Fuck you.
Also, like, I know this is our little, like, shit on you. Shout out DJ Ukulele. You were not the problem.
Yeah.
You actually look pretty good at Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a miracle what an offensive line will do for you. So leave that there.
He doesn't look unbelievable. I mean, he's 2 touchdowns for every interception, but still looking a lot more like the 5-star quarterback he was supposed to be than maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Speaking of 5 stars, I know y'all heard about this. I shit on. All right, I let the USC defense know they're trash. You hear about Lincoln Riley talking about possibly redshirting Corey Foreman? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I digress though.
It's tough, dog. I mean, you think you're gonna go out there for some early playing time and whoop.
What if only Travis Hunter was healthy in that game Saturday? I tell you right now, fucking USC might have taken an L that day. I can't confirm nor deny because it didn't happen. I'm just saying what could have been. But with that being said, guys, we're wrapping this thing up. We'll catch you back tomorrow, right? Getting back on track with the Kentucky preview. We got a lot of stuff to look at. Just going to let you know, preview. We're probably going to hear about Ray Davis, by the way. You're going to hear about that. You'll probably hear about Devin Leary and how inaccurate he's been and not subpar. But he's no Will Levis. We'll leave it there. Any final words, guys, before we wrap this thing up?
You ever think you'd say that to somebody, like as a negative thing? He's no Will Levis. I'm sorry.
How far it's fallen. Yeah.
Dogs on top, still undefeated. There's a lot of people talking shit, but they also got losses in the loss column. So fuck you.
It's crazy to look over there and see that every team in the SEC West already has one loss and more than likely going to get another one. We'll leave it there. Guys, with that being said.
And after this week, you'll be down to a minimum of 2 or a maximum of 2 teams undefeated in the East.
Yeah.
Possibly only one.
I do want to close it with this. I told y'all before the season started, there's 3 games for Florida to watch. That was Utah, that was Kentucky, and that was Vandy. Well, they lost the first 2. Now it's Vandy.
Vandy said they coming for that ass, Florida. Fuck y'all.
How long shall we have the segment on next Monday if they lose?
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be like,
fuck, he ain't gonna need his own separate show.
Yeah, honestly.
Welcome to the Saturday night DGD podcast.
Yeah.
Keon drunk ass gonna be sitting there. I fucking told you.
I knew it. I knew it.
Just send him the restream link, but don't start it. You're just screaming at a blank screen.
Right, just fucking sorry. Yeah, no, that's gonna be me.
No, I'll let it. No, I'll let him. What I'll do, I'll create a restream link and just record only.
Yeah,
and we'll take the recording and just post it.
Yeah. I'm gonna need it. Tinfoil hat will be on.
Walla Walla, I appreciate the love for my math joke this evening. We will see you tomorrow night, same time, same place.
Make sure for the like and subscribe if you like what you're listening to. We're gonna leave it there. Catch y'all tomorrow, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.